Hey there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we're going to continue our conversation around the recently released TV spot for the upcoming Superman movie. And let's just say, it's been pretty divisive online. There's a lot of people that don't like what it was showing with the Superman flight scene and Superman's face looking rather kind of strange. A lot of people are calling it a downgrade, and like I say, it's very, very divisive amongst the DC fan base and amongst moviegoers online. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into this article, have a read. James Gunn actually came out with a response to the kind of divisive nature of this clip of Superman. He responded to the fan backlash, so we'll see what James Gunn had to say. Then we'll go over to X and take a look at some of the posts and see what some of the community are saying about the flight scene from the recently released TV spot. So this comes to us from Comic Book Movie. Superman director James Gunn responds to complaints about goofy shot from the new teaser. I mean, this is the shot in question here. I mean, overall, I think the actual TV spot itself, I think it was pretty cool. I'm excited. The flight scene, I think it was pretty fun. Showing Superman flying at several hundred miles an hour, kind of doing that flip over the ice, kind of the Antarctic scene. I think the shot in its entirety was pretty fun and exciting. But when you start to break it down, when you look at the shot and you pause frames and you do a zoom in on the face, I get what some people are saying. I get people's criticisms, and I kind of understand it and do agree with it to a point. His face does look a little bit weird. The wide angle lens of the close-up shot of Superman flying, it does look a little bit strange. But it's not going to dampen my excitement for the movie. It may dampen yours. I'm not really sure how you guys feel about it. But for me, I understand that it looks a little bit weird, and I'm kind of on board with some of the comments. I don't think it makes the movie look awful or disastrous by any means, and I'm still excited to see it. But anyway, let's break down this information and check out what James Gunn had to say in response. So, DC Studios released a new TV spot for James Gunn's Superman yesterday, and while fans were delighted to see even a couple of new shots from the DCU reboot, one quick glimpse of the Man of Steel, played by David Corenswet, taking flight in the Arctic setting has come in for quite a bit of ridicule online. Like I said, in a second, we'll go over to X and you'll see exactly what I mean about the comments and the discourse surrounding this shot, and you'll see what a lot of people are saying about it. The shot in question is a close-up of Superman's face as he comes out for a barrel roll to avoid some rocks. Some fans have made fun of the goofy look on Soup's face, while others feel that the VFX makes him appear unnaturally still, while his hair and cape can be seen billowing in the wind. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the wide-angle lens. It looks like one of those GoPro cameras, which is kind of mounted to the person's face. You know where, like, the background moves, but, like, the face stays kind of centered to the frame? That's almost what this Superman shot looks like, where his face is kind of centered to the frame, and his face is kind of staying still, but everything in the background is moving around him, and it looks very, very bizarre with the wide-angle lens as well. So I get the criticisms from that point of view, too. Whatever the issue may or may not be, a lot of people seem to be in agreement that something simply looks off about the shot. It's the uncanny valley nature of the CGI as well. We're to the point where CGI is like kind of really good, but it's not quite there. But it's that uncanny valley. The human brain almost doesn't want to process what's going on, and that's kind of also what's adding to the kind of the weird nature of it, I think. So Gunn was asked about the teaser on Threads, and he responded with the following. So this is what James Gunn, the director, had to say about this kind of weird looking shot. He said there is absolutely zero CG on his face. People's faces can look different when you put a wide-angle lens up close. The background plate of Svalbard is 100% real, as is David. I believe Svalbard, I think that's how you say it, or Svalbard. I'm not sure how you say it exactly. I think it's in Norway. I think that's where they were filming this, in Norway. So if I am mistaken, I do apologize, but I think it's Norway. But yeah, so he's saying there's no CG on his face. He's saying that people's faces can look different and look weird when you put it to a wide-angle lens up close. And that's kind of the response he's had. He hasn't attacked anyone. He hasn't said anything overly negative about the fan base. He's kind of just come out and just said, yeah, I mean, there's no CG here on his face. And because it's a wide-angle lens, people's faces can look often kind of different and a bit distorted with a wide-angle lens. And he's not wrong about that. So I do agree with what he's saying. But obviously, as the director of this movie, he's not going to come out and say anything overtly negative because it's going to put a bad light on the film. So he has to kind of address the issue, but not in a negative way. So that's kind of a hard thing to do. So there you have it. No dodgy CGI involved. At the end of the day, if you stick a camera directly in someone's face like this while blasting them with a wind machine, the results are not always going to be particularly flattering. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, David Corenswet, he's doing a flying scene. He's probably getting a load of wind blasted in his face. In the scene here, Superman is flying at several hundred miles an hour in a wide-angle lens with wind blowing in his face. So you know, it's going to look a bit weird, a bit distorted. The uncanny valley of the CGI adding to the kind of mix as well. So there's a kind of a few different ingredients there that's going to give this kind of recipe of a kind of weird, strange, unnatural look. But what we're going to do now that we've had a look at James Gunn's response, let's go over to X. So if you go on X and you just type in Superman and you look at the top posts, literally the top like 3 or 4 posts are people calling this movie a downgrade based on this TV spot of Superman flying. So let's have a look at a couple of these posts. I'm not going to go through loads of them, but just sort of 2 or 3 here. So starting off with this top post here. Like I said, I just typed in Superman, and these are the top posts. So the first one here, the downgrade is insane. And obviously we have people comparing the flight scene of David Corenswet in the new TV spot to Henry Cavill's flight scene in Man of Steel. Again, Man of Steel is a masterpiece of the genre in my opinion. I absolutely love that movie. But I think here, David Corenswet's Superman Below, I think it looks great as well. I do think it looks great. Again, his face does David Corenswet's face, does look a little bit weird. I am in agreement with that, but it's in no way dampened my excitement for this movie whatsoever. It's one CGI shot that lasts 1 second or so of the movie. I really don't care about it all that much, but people seem to care a lot about it. I'm not sure exactly why, but you know, it's not going to have an impact on the movie for myself. So moving on to the next one, Culture Fake. This downgrade will literally go down in history books. Again, another flight scene comparing to Man of Steel from 2013. People can't seem to shake the comparisons between David Corenswet and Henry Cavill, and that's always going to be the case. I mean, Henry Cavill and, you know, the Snyder fans, they're not going away anytime soon. They're a very small minority, but a very loud minority when it comes to this kind of stuff online. So moving on to the next one. So this is the third post from the New Geeks. This is what Forbes had to say. So Superman takes flight in a new trailer and it looks weird. So that's one of the posts they had to say as well. And obviously a bit of negativity there. And then we have a kind of a gif of Henry Cavill kind of laughing about what's going on. So, and then moving on to the fourth one. Again, Culture Fake. Who made this? And then it's kind of got a funny Bart image here kind of relating to the Superman image. So there you go, guys. Like the top sort of 4 posts there when you type in Superman on X. So people just calling it a downgrade, kind of laughing at it, comparing it to Man of Steel and Henry Cavill. So what we have here, we have an issue that this movie has to combat against. There's 3 distinct groups that I want to say that are kind of wanting this movie to fail. The first group, obviously we have the Marvel hardcore fans who basically they hate anything DC and they're going to jump on anything DC. They're going to hate it, dislike it, no matter what it is, because they're so aligned with anything Marvel. They hate anything to do with DC. The second group, we have the ardent kind of Snyder fans who are going to hate anything to do with DC that doesn't involve Snyder, that's not part of the DCEU. They're still salty that the DCEU has been kind of left in ruins and that DC is moving forward. So the Snyder fans are just going to jump on and hate anything to do with DC because the Snyderverse isn't moving forward. And then the third group is just a bunch of movie fans online who literally hate everything. They're going to jump on everything. They're going to hate everything, Marvel, DC, whatever it is. They're just going to jump online. They're just going to be keyboard warriors and just going to hate everything. So that's the 3 distinct groups going against this new Superman film. So we have so we have the Marvel hardcore fans who hate anything DC. We have the Snyderverse fans who hate anything new that's DC. Then we have the third group who are just a bunch of people, movie fans or not, who just hate everything online and just going to downvote and hate everything that there is. So, you know, there's 3 kind of vocal minority groups there who are going to hate on this movie. So it's got a bit of an uphill battle to win them. But whether it can or not, I'm not really sure. But that's kind of my take on it, guys. So, you know, that's what's going on with kind of the latest on this new TV spot for Superman. And that's James Gunn's response and some of the X community posts regarding the discourse around it as well. So jump into the comment section, guys. Do you think that this, you know, flight scene looks really, really bad? Like me, do you not really care about it all that much? It hasn't dampened the excitement. Whatever your thoughts are, guys, jump into the comment section and let me know what you think about this, because it's very, very interesting to see what you guys have to say. As always, make sure you hit that like button before you leave and become a subscriber of the channel if you haven't already. It goes a very long way to supporting my content, so I'd really, really appreciate that. And as always, I will see you in the next video.